Hello, you're watching How to Play Tic-Tac-Toe Lesson 6. So, in the previous videos, lessons 2 through 5, we talked about how if I move here in the corner, face off first move, face off the second player's first move, I have a 87.5% chance of winning. So they have to move in the middle in order to avoid it. And then I showed two strategies for working through the game if they go here in the middle, because that's the only way to safely make your first move by going the corner. So the question now is, what happens if we make, instead of me making my first move in the corner, I make my first move, say, in the middle? Okay. So I'm going to use black for whoever goes first, and I'll use blue for who goes second. So because of the symmetry of this game setup, there's only really two possible choices. I can either go in a corner, or I can go somewhere in one of these central spots. So 50-50 chance. So let's start with the bad move. So suppose I move right here. Now, if we recall what we talked about before, how some moves are defensible and some are not defensible. This is a not defensible move. This is a bad move to make. For example, I can move right here. That's going to force blue to move over here. And now I have my choice of options. Do I feel like moving right here so I can win like this, either diagonal or across? Or if we set up another grid real quick, let's see here, we have 1 and 2. I could also just choose move right here. And now I have one either up and down or across. Either way, player blue is screwed because I can manipulate the game at will and win. So that is, so we know now just looking at this that there are 4 moves you absolutely cannot make. So if I move here, my first move, these 4 spots are all bad. That means, based off your first move alone, that you have a 50% chance of automatically losing. And just to be clear, the red here on this um, game here, that means you lose if that's your first move. Okay? So we're going to have to avoid those central positions. So let's see what happens if you move in a corner now. Okay? So here we go. I move in the middle. You decide to move in a corner. Okay, so you survived my primary trap, and now the question is, what am I going to do for my secondary trap? Okay, and how this works is I'm going to move right here. Now, if you're not paying attention, then you have essentially 6 options, and 4 of them are going to be bad. Okay, so if you move right here, that forces me move here. Then you have to block, so blue blocks. Black has to move somewhere. Best move for black is going to be the bottom central spot because that ends any hope of blue winning and it sets a possible winning solution, but blue can just easily block and it's a tie. Alright, so right now what we know for this game setup, so we have 1, 2, 1. So because of the symmetry, this is going to be a tie. This will be a tie. I can move in either corner. This either move is symmetric to the other, and since we just showed it's a tie for the top left corner, it has to be also a tie for the bottom right corner. So that leaves the 4 central positions. Okay. So let's see here. Let's set it up again. 1, 2, 1. So if I move, say, right here, okay, as blue, there's my second move. Well, black has to block, and now black has just one because straight up and down or across. GG. And so we can conclude then that these two central positions, if blue makes those their second move, they automatically lost. Okay. So that leaves only one more possibility. We have two moves that tie, two moves that you lose. So next question is going to be the remaining two spots right here and here. Okay. Now, usually by this point, sometimes my opponent realizes, oh no, Mr. Householder has a lot of tricks. And when they look at this, sometimes they lure themselves into a kind of a false dichotomy. They say to themselves, well, if I move here, then he just moves here and wins because I can run across or up and down. However, if I move here, so as I've seen blue players think, then the opponent can just move here and win this way. So sometimes my opponents, they set themselves in a false dichotomy here, where they think they have to have the choice between those two shaded regions. We can see that that dichotomy is false because you have four other options to move, but it happens. People get psyched out. Either way, we can see based off of that evidence that these two moves are going to be bad. And we could just play through it again with the show. So let's suppose move here, then black can just move right here and voila, across and up and down. So to summarize our results then for the central position, if I make my move in the central position first, then I guess based off first move alone, so based off first move, if I move here, then let's see here. If you move any of these red highlighted areas, you lose. You have to move in the green spots to tie. Okay. So I guess we'll write this out real quick. Equals tie, red, equals you lose. Okay. So based off first move here, this is what you need to do. You have to move in one of the corners. And now based off your second move, you have to move in one of the two remaining corners. If you do not, you fall into my next trap. Okay. So this shows you how to set up the game in order to win based off your player's first or second move. And we can see in summary that if your opponent goes first and they move in the middle, you have to avoid the four central positions for your first two moves. You have to move in a corner or you lose. It's simple as that. Right? See, first move, I have to move in some corner like right here, and then I still have to move in some corner on my second move. Otherwise, I am going to lose. So that's something interesting about this game setup with the first player moving in the middle. And this also concludes what happens if you move in the middle first. It's a fairly simple case. The corner was a little bit more complex. We have two strategies. We also had so we had the two secondary traps. We had all the various primary traps. In this case, because of the symmetry, there's not really a whole lot of unique traps that we can set up. What will prove to be the most confusing is what happens if you make your move in a central spot first. Alright, thank you for watching this video. If you are interested and like to support our endeavors, please subscribe and consider purchasing our book, How to Play Tic Tac Toe Like a Champion. I'm not sure why I'm saying our since it's my book, but anyways. The book has 100 pictures working through the different traps with step-by-step diagrams, and it covers a lot of the same material in these videos. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.